This is your Monday, September 17 edition of Info Hub. President Granger made several stops at the weekend. First, we bring you news from Shulinab, this year's Indigenous Heritage Village, which was a hive of activity at the weekend as President David Granger joined hundreds of residents and visitors in the South Rupununi to celebrate the activity there. Tiffany Rogers was also there. Let's take a look.
President David Granger commended Shulinab for being forward-looking and encouraged village leaders to push for equality in the community.
I believe that education is the basis of equality. We need to embrace the education system so that people, especially the children, are discouraged from dropping out.
Tushar Nicholas Frederick said Heritage Day should be a celebration and reflection on advancing the indigenous way of life.
It is an occasion that, especially as indigenous people, we have to reflect on the important values that we have contributed towards building this very important nation. And it is with that reflection that we celebrate, and we want to make sure that our celebrations are more meaningful, are more realistic, that will lead us to an end result that will be positive for both the government and for us, the indigenous people, as we move forward.
National Heritage Day 2018 is being celebrated under the theme, Proud of Our Identity, Celebrating in Unity. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sidney Alcock, encouraged Indigenous people to continue the development of their communities.
We need more of this. We need your ideas. We need your plans. And that is why it is so important to understand what the government is doing. President again asked that we have the village improvement plan developed. And this is what this young man was showing us. It means that the village councils must get in order.
With senior videographer Kenyan Bacchus, I'm Tiffany Rogers reporting from Shulinab in the South Central Rupununi District in Region 9 for InfoHub.
The head of state attended Ebenezer Congregational Church on Sunday for the sanctuary's 175th anniversary and called on religious bodies to cooperate to arrest the issue of social decay. Here's that report.
President Granger said the church should cooperate and collaborate with the Neighborhood Democratic Council, other churches and religious and civil society to arrest social decay.
The church should return to its role as a social leader. It is already a credible organization in this community. It should utilize this public trust to solve public problems. And these problems abound. Problems of domestic violence, alcohol and drug abuse, poverty, teenage pregnancy, school absenteeism and dropouts. These are problems from which West Coast has not been able to escape.
The president noted that congregationalism and service to communities are inseparable. He said the bonds between church and communities should therefore be reinforced. Reflecting on Congregationalism's history, President Granger explained it came to this country 210 years ago as part of the work of the London Missionary Society to minister almost exclusively to Africans. Guyana, the president said, owes a debt of gratitude to the Congregational Church as it pioneered education before and after emancipation, supported community development, and aided those in need.
Congregationalism has been anchored in communities, and its service to the communities is inseparable from its service and its worship to God. The bonds between church and communities should be reinforced. Communities should be maintained as vital centers of spiritual life, blessed with the moral legitimacy and the material resources which are necessary for promoting the common good.
The Ebenezer Congregational Church is one of Guyana's oldest churches and a member of the Congregational Union. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Over the weekend, First Lady Sandra Granger urged residents of Region 3 to prepare themselves for a job in the technological field. The First Lady noted that in the future, 60% of jobs worldwide will be performed by robots as artificial intelligence is being used in the manufacturing sector, agriculture, medicine, and more. She was at the time addressing awardees at the Department of Education's Regional Award ceremony. She encouraged them to reflect on possible career paths and to focus on enhancing the skills needed to secure employment. Berbice residents can help the Skeldon cogeneration power plant by sourcing biomass to power its facilities. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu visited the power plant at the weekend and was given a tour.
John Long, Operations and Maintenance Manager of the Skeldon Estate, explained that while the facility has the capacity to produce 40 megawatts of electricity, more resources are needed to exceed the current 13 megawatts produced.
We are looking at sawdust, the rice husk, as I said, the wood chip, in the absence of the bagasse, which we're not getting at this point in time. Further down the road, we're looking at the same grass that we've planted, and that will enhance our operations a great deal, minus the fuel. The boilers were designed to use fuel at times. We do away with that.
Long stated that currently they are purchasing biomass at a rate of $4,500 per ton where available, noting that the facility has its own transportation, which uplifts the material and delivers it to the estate, after which it is weighed. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu noted that 40 megawatts of electricity amounted to approximately 25% of the electricity used locally.
That you could produce the 40 megawatts of electricity in Berbice, and you could put a stop to blackouts, and the rates for the charges for electricity will go down.
During a community meeting at WIM later that afternoon, he encouraged residents to assist by supplying the cogeneration power plant with much-needed biomass material. The Prime Minister said the long-term plan is to implement alternative energy sources across Guyana. He explained that countrywide solar panel farms and wind turbines are being established to provide energy.
Reporting from Skeldon Cogeneration Power Plant in Quarantine, Berbice, with videographer Tejpaul Bridgemohan and Arakan for InfoHub.
Mommy, you can't smoke in the room. You can get the baby sick.
She can't get sick. I lock up in this room. She's over there.
Mommy, you never heard about third-hand smoking? That is when the smoke gets into the fabric, like the chair and upholstery, and it still affects people that comes in the room.
First it was second-hand smoke, now it's third-hand smoke.
Mommy, you know I love you, and I want to see you quit. I don't want baby to have developmental problems like asthma and lung disease.
Let's all work together to prevent cigarette smoking-related illnesses.
Welcome back. A mineral refinery could be built locally. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has concluded discussions with a South African company taking into consideration the prospects of Guyana's output of gold and other precious metals. This disclosure was made by Minister Carl Greenidge. More from Stacey Carmichael.
Out of the mission also in South Africa, where, for example, they were able to conclude with a South African company, or maybe more than one, that in light of the prospects in Guyana and output of gold, for example, and precious minerals, there could be refining done in Guyana by a South African company. This is what economic diplomacy is about. They are now waiting on information from the Ministry of Natural Resources and GGMC to take that process further.
The minister said the setting up of the refinery is just one example of the work being done and what can be achieved by the ministry. He said the respective missions in India, Cuba and other territories have been able to forge partnerships. These will see the export of products such as alcohol and other beverages produced by the Demerara Distillers Limited, DDL, rice and paddy. There have also been successes by the missions in Brussels, Panama and elsewhere in Latin America, the minister disclosed. Responding to a question posed by the media, Minister Greenidge reminded that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not an export agency.
What we do is engage our bilateral partners to modify the framework that they may have which may constitute barriers to us. We engage them at the policy level with a view to ensuring that if we have a product that we're interested in exporting and we look at the prospects and find, well, the problem that is arising is a lack of familiarity of their importers, we then try and put them together so that they can work on these matters and take it down the road.
Trade negotiations, Minister Greenidge noted, are part of a long process which involves pricing, seasons, shipment times, and more. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
The recent disclosure by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit of cases of illicit drugs in schools has prompted a call by Minister Kemraj Ramjathan for parents and guardians to help prevent this worrying trend and help law enforcement stem the flow of illicit drugs in schools. Paul McAdam reports.
On the sidelines of the opening of a canoe training course, Minister Ramjathan urged parents and guardians to be more involved in their children's lives.
I'm pleading with people, be a little bit more caring to your children, see what they do and what they do not, and that will help them probably prevent them from ecstasy and all these things. When they go to a party, if they party in plenty, what are they doing at the party? Are they having ecstasy with other friends and family members? That's the kind of thing we want. And that will help. Not only did the police got to run in a party, and when he raid the party and probably don't find anything because the fellas hide it up quickly, then they cost the police. And that is what I want. I want more family. The community must get involved.
Kanu's deputy head, Leslie Ramlal, described the increasing discoveries of synthetic drugs as a worrying one.
I urge you to take serious note of the synthetic drugs such as heroin, ecstasy, and crystal methamphetamine, all of which were seized by the unit in 2018. This is certainly a new trend and a very worrying one for Guyana. More so, we are conscious of the increasing demand of ecstasy among our youth population, including children in schools. This drug now seems to be the common narcotic that is readily available at many nightclubs and parties.
According to the Kanu official, the drug has been found in 5 schools in regions 3 and 4. According to Ramlal, Kanu is working with the Ministry of Education, Joint Services, the media, and members of the public to rein in the issue. Information from Kanu showed that thus far for the year, 104 grams of heroin and 100 grams of crystal methamphetamines have been seized. 534 kilograms, 660 grams of marijuana, and 161 kilograms, 870 grams of cocaine have also been seized for the same period. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
As we begin the observance of Breastfeeding Week 2018, medical practitioners and members of the public marched through several streets in Georgetown as they promote breastfeeding. Here with the details is Crystal Stahl.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummins, said over the years the ministry has been promoting the merits of exclusive 6 months breastfeeding to mothers countrywide.
While recognizing that the promotion of breastfeeding as the best possible nutrition for infants, it has been the cornerstone of child health and survival strategies for the past 2 decades. Significant to note is that breastfeeding has played a major part in lowering infant mortality in many parts of the world. Undoubtedly, it remains the best option for the great majority of infants.
In efforts to raise awareness on the importance of breastfeeding, Dr. Cummins noted several activities were implemented. She urged all to give their support.
The attitudes of partners, family, employers, and society as a whole have an impact on breastfeeding rates. Therefore, through public education and awareness programs like these, we will continue to dispel some of the misguided views on breastfeeding.
To date, 11 hospitals across Guyana have received breast-friendly status. This means that facilities will ensure that mothers who deliver babies practice and promote exclusive breastfeeding. This year's Breastfeeding Week is being observed from September 16 to 22 and is held under the theme Breastfeeding, Foundation for Life. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
The CPL has ended and Guyana Amazon Warriors are bridesmaids once again as the Trinbago Knight Riders lifted the trophy. We leave you with your bridge and weather reports. Goodbye.